USD 435 update on Eagle Community Television is brought to you by Memorial Health System Rehabilitation and Sports Medicine. Memorial Health System Rehabilitation and Sports Medicine will get you back in the game. Century Business Systems. Century Business Systems provides local service, competitive pricing, and simplified solutions for all of Abilene's copier and printer needs. Rivendell Bookstore, Abilene's only new and used bookstore, supporting USD 435 and its surrounding community. Abilene Physical Therapy and Sports Rehab. At Abilene Physical Therapy and Sports Rehab, wellness is your goal and our mission. You're more than a patient, you're family. Reynolds Real Estate. Buying or selling a home? Call Reynolds Real Estate at 263-7151 to speak to our professional realtors today. And Eagle Communications, our community connected.
Hi, I'm Dennis Weeks for Eagle Communications. Welcome to a USD 435 update with Dr. Denise Guy.
Hi Dennis, how are you this morning?
I'm terrific. It's a beautiful day outside.
It's a little windy, but other than that, with those big tall walls up over at the high school, the wind does play a factor.
Oh my. I just drove around all of your projects in the intervening time between me showing up too early and now. And it's amazing the progress and the speed at which things are happening right now.
Yeah, we have completed the 2 elementary projects, and we'll have Tom Schwartz on here in just a minute, and he can talk to you a little bit more about the details of that and how that has come across to the parents and the students. The Eisenhower Elementary is still on target. I know there's a lot of folks out there that think somehow we're not going to get that building completed. And I'm not going to promise because I can't predict the weather, but as of today, we are still on target to move in January. The one thing on these buildings that is unique is that, you know, a lot of the plumbing and a lot of electrical is happening as the building is rising. So there is more work to be done, of course, inside, but those things are installed along the way, so that helps. And you can see the brick is going on the buildings now, so that's exciting. And the roof is getting tied in, and so things are happening there. The middle school classrooms, the new classrooms, they'll move in on the 12th. So we're excited to see those classroom science rooms in action. So that's fun. And then we're kind of debating on the time schedule as far as when we're going to start the interior remodels. Of course, we're having school those days, so we have to make sure that it complies with our educational environment as well. High school is the big deal right now, and you can see lots of walls moving up at the high school. The big tall wall right now that you see is the north side of the gymnasium. And then there's another big tall wall that's going to be even more north than that, and that is the side of the auditorium. And it's actually going to be taller.
That it's 15 feet taller than the one that's standing there today?
The stage part of the auditorium is 15 feet taller than the wall that's up there now. Wow. So
I know where there's going to be a great place to stand when there's a south wind on the north side of that wall.
So there's a lot of work to do yet. You know, the masons are hard at work. We have them all over the community right now, and they're making things happen. Start of school, we've had a great start of the school year. Yeah. The parking was kind of a concern, and last month you had been and
we had the map.
And you had the map, and that helped us tremendously. I think people, you know, kind of had an idea where they needed to go. First day was a little chaotic because I think all of our students had the Presbyterian Church as their parking of choice that day, and some of them showed up at 7:10.
The race was on.
And by 7:20, that parking lot was full. And so then we had to start, you know, kind of moving students in different directions, and they have settled in very well.
So what are you going to try next to get kids to show up to school early? Are you going to announce some new change next year?
We might have to, because it's working pretty well right now, actually. So that's going well. I visited this morning. We just came out of an administrative team meeting and just kind of debriefed on the beginning of the school year. And you know, the theme that came out of that is we've just got really great students, and they are adaptable, and they're polite, and they're working hard for all of these different projects and excited to have them and adapting quite well. So we're thankful for all the parents out there who send us your great kids.
Yeah, and we're not really surprised by that, are we?
No.
No. Kids are adaptable by their very design, but I think our community understands the progress that's going on over there, and the kids certainly will be the primary beneficiaries of it.
Absolutely. So we're excited about it. You know, if you are on 14th Street and Cedar between 7:30 and 8 o'clock in the morning, we'd really ask you to really watch that crosswalk. And it's difficult because the sun is shining, you know, in the east, and you're driving down that road and you don't always see very well. So just really be cautious around that. We don't want anyone to get hurt over all of this.
We've got a lot of viewers that are regularly watch our programs on Channel 2, and many of them are driving up and down 14th Street because it's a main corridor. I just urge everybody to do a self-imposed 20-mile-an-hour school zone and think of it that way, even though there's no flashing light or signage on 14th. But it's certainly a main corridor, and has been forever, where children cross the road. But there's a lot of children crossing the road now.
There really are. And we do have a crosswalk. We've kind of, you know, tried to implement that to help students get across safely as well. Plan to continue with that as long as we need to. So nighttime, when we have activities start, really be careful. We've talked with the city chief of police, and he's going to help us out with that some too.
Good.
So we're working towards it.
So last year you rolled out a whole lot of iPads.
Yes.
So they're all still there this year.
They are.
New software on them. How's all that going?
Well, pretty well. You know, we're still early into the season. The teachers all spent quite a bit of time this summer training, so that's always good. They've got, you know, put some of their classroom and coursework already on the program called Canvas. It's interesting because, you know, when you first have an initiative like that, it's really a big deal. It has just kind of become part of what we do.
Normal now.
It's just normal to have that access. It's expected. When students have questions, they have access to be able to answer many of those questions. Some of our textbooks are on those devices. So it's just part of the system of education right now.
Well, I have a sample of one at my house. So, but Canvas versus My Big Campus. He says Canvas is a lot easier, and it's more centralized where your data is. So it's easier to access and easier to interface with, and that means less time fooling with technology, which is always good, and more time using technology, which is always better.
Right. We want to make it seamless if we can. Canvas is a program that's used at many universities and colleges as well, so it should be a nice smooth transition to the next post-secondary level of education as well.
And Mike Leiby's still holding court every day and surviving? He
has a team of folks now that help man the systems and the networking and the desktop units, and so he's working hard.
I'm sure. Okay, what else have you got for us in your segment here?
Well,
this morning?
I think you know, just a little bit of an update at the beginning of the school year, and we're going to get into a little more in depth with Mr. Schwartz on how his beginning of the school year went, and he can talk about some of those things. So.
Oh, I have a question for you. You have some new staff this year.
Yes.
Yes. How are they liking Abilene?
Well, you know, they tell me they love it. But
okay.
And actually, I do think they believe it too. I think they're really adjusting well, and we've got some really great staff members. Some that actually graduated from Abilene that we have brought back.
Oh, wow.
And so we're excited about that.
That's excellent. We had a business after hours at Dickinson County Bank last night. The chamber facilitated, and there were a lot of people there. It was well attended. And Becky Schwab came by, and she had a couple of people trailing her, and she said, "I'd like to introduce you to the newest people in Abilene." She must have just sold them a house. So I shook their hand, and the lady said to me, "I saw you on TV." So
cool.
The newest people in Abilene are watching you today.
Awesome.
Isn't that great?
Well, welcome to town.
That's right. Glad you're here. Glad you're here. Bring some kids with you.
Yeah, that helps too.
We'll educate them, send them out into the world, and then ask them to come back home. All right, Denise, thank you.
Thank you.
We'll take a short break and we'll be back with Tom Schwartz. We'll be right back. Hi, we're back with Tom Schwartz at McKinley.
At McKinley.
So, did you hear that Mount McKinley is going to revert to its native name, Denali, in Alaska?
Well, I had heard some of that this summer, yeah.
Yeah, I have friends who live there, and it's been Denali to them forever. So, it's okay with me. But I just thought of it as I saw you this morning.
Huh.
Yeah. So, what great height is McKinley reaching for us here in Abilene this year?
Oh, that's a good one. I like that. I think I'll use that, Dennis. But you know, we are doing lots of new things out there at McKinley and have for the last couple of years, and it all seems to be coming together this year. First off, I want to thank the community for the bond issue that went through and all the great things that are happening to our buildings. And one thing that happened out at McKinley is we're a lot safer place now.
Absolutely.
And that's a very important thing for our kids, and also the parents, I think, feel a lot better now too, after seeing how our front entrance has changed and the access into our building has changed, and I think it makes them more comfortable. So if that happens, it can only help.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Our office area, when people walk in, it's like, wow, because they're used to our old office, which was pretty small.
Yeah.
And it's wide open now, and we were able to put in a better nurses room. We have a guidance office now, and then my office is bigger, and of course I have enough stuff from 16 years of doing this that I needed a bigger office.
You're probably still out of room for stuff.
But so that's all helped. But just some of the things that I've heard parents talk about is they just like how it's safer. And then the bus area, we added a sidewalk a little bit farther south than the one that we did have on the east side of the school.
I noticed that.
And that helps get the buses away from that intersection and just makes it a lot easier for kids to cross that crosswalk and makes it less congested. And our sidewalks are all new. The driveway is new. It's a parking lot now on the west side of our school that people can actually park their cars and not have to go down the street about a half a mile to come visit us. So it's just made it a lot better for everything.
You know, sometimes improvements are so simple, but they still cost $24 million if you put them all together. But the consistent theme of security for the schools means a single entrance where you can monitor people that come and go, and then the facilities to get children to the school. And that's just what you just took us through. Very simple concept, but you still have to build things to make that happen, especially when for a lot of years we haven't had those. We live in a different time. The challenges of today are not the same as yesterday.
Very true. Very true.
Well, hey, I want to take you back before you get to the rest of your agenda, because the very first time I ever had you on camera, you talked about food for kids and what an important thing that has come to be in our community. So I want to ask you about it. You still doing it?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We just got the information from the Kansas Food Bank to sign the schools up again, and that's what I've been doing the last couple of weeks, is making sure that that's all ready to go, and that'll be starting up probably at the beginning of October is when first bags will be available to get out to kids. But last year we had more than ever that we did that for. So,
you know, it's a real shame, but it's just a fact that many kids do not have all the care they need at home, and care means food as well. So this program sends food home to children who may not have those supplies that they need through the weekend.
For the weekend.
And it does it as inobtrusively as possible, and kindly as possible. And it's just such a great human program that schools have stepped up and helped meet that need. One of my favorites.
We're very appreciative to the food bank. I mean, handling all of that, the Kansas Food Bank, and then I know lots of people have contributed money here in this community for that to happen. And I know we were close to 100 students last year in our district each week. So you know, lots of families that are, it's very tough right now, and this helps. So we're glad to do it.
We're sitting in Dr. Guy's office, and I'm looking at her, and I think, you know, it's a great thing when schools can exhibit the characteristic of kindness. Kindness is never enough in the world. So but we as individuals get a choice every day, and it's great when leadership exhibits kindness, because it flushes downhill. And the people at the bottom are those little kids that don't have any food on the weekends.
No, we talk about that a lot in our administrative team meetings. So and I know Dr. Guy is, that's a very important part for her and for all of us, for all the administrators. So that's why we're here.
What else new going on in McKinley?
Well, there's all kinds of things.
All kinds of
things.
What's your favorite?
Well, you know, we started a couple years ago. We started in our district. We were working on something where we look at not just the academics of a child, but also behavior and also their social, what they do with social learning.
Okay.
And we have put that into place. At McKinley, we are still working with Kathleen Lane and people out of KU to help us implement that. This will be our second year that we're doing it at McKinley. It's a program where, with our academics, we have extra help in place. It's called a 3-tier system, where we do what's called crews, where every day for 30 minutes, students get what they need in reading. As far as whatever level they're at, we have something for each student that we do specifically for them. And then with math, we're starting that training this year, so that we'll be able to do the same thing with math to give that extra support. We have a reading curriculum that we started last year. It's called Journeys, and this will be the second year that we will implement that, and the teachers are very happy with that. We think that we're able to do a much better job of just giving the base or core reading to all students. Math, we have a new curriculum that we're starting this year. It's called Envisions, that we're doing with our students there. So again, we don't stand still. We just keep moving forward. And
the world changes, doesn't stand still either.
You know, we just, you know, one thing with my staff too, and I'm very proud of them, they work hard, and they know we're doing a good job, but they're not happy with just that. They want to keep improving. And this summer, during the summer, because a lot of people think teachers don't do anything during the summer. Well, I know they do. They're in my building a lot. And we did training for responsibility-centered discipline. And that's something that goes along with our behavior program that I'll kind of discuss a little bit. It's a way that we help students become more responsible with their behavior. Too many times as adults, it's easier for us to tell the child what they're supposed to do, and then they don't know why they're doing it. But for their behavior to change, they have to take ownership and responsibility for it. And so we have a way through this program that we can help them go through the steps that they can change their behavior, and hopefully that will help them. Whenever you help behavior, you help with academics and everything.
Sure do. I was thinking about that topic this morning as I was thinking about having this task to do today, and here's how I said it to myself: wouldn't it be great if everything were the good old days? Well, it's not. Here we are. So do we step up to the challenges and meet the needs of the most impacted demographic, which are young people, or do we not? It's a simple choice. You deal with the product that comes in the door, and the world is not sending the same product that it used to send, and there's very little to nothing we can do about that. But we do get to choose what we do at school and what we do in other places of influence, and those are great examples of choosing to do the best that can be done.
Yeah, and we just have to help them on that path. And so that's why we're there doing that. The staff was also in during, because we're talking behavior there, they were in doing a training, 3 days of training too, for the math series that we're doing, and also some strategies where we don't just have students memorize everything, because they need to know what numbers are about. And
Sure.
this 3 days of training was excellent. It's some of the best things that I've sat through. And the best thing about the training too was it was all the staff. I had paras and secretaries, and they're all involved because it takes everybody. Mm-hmm. It takes everybody. Sure so with the behavior thing that we're doing out at McKinley, we use tickets. And this is the ticket. I probably can't see that on the TV, but boy, it's an important.
We can see it on the TV.
It's an important deal out at McKinley.
Hold it still for them.
The students, if they exhibit the expectations that we have for them, then we try to catch them doing the right thing. And the most important thing about giving that ticket to them is you don't give them the ticket like it's money or something, because then they don't know why they're getting it. So when you give them that ticket, you say, I really like the way you held that door open for the rest of your classmates.
Great idea.
Then they know, hey, that's important. And so we try to get them doing more of those positive behaviors. So it's called a positive behavior system that we're using. And then they can collect these tickets and use them. We have a store in our library, and they can get things like iPad cleaners and little mini notebooks and pencil grips. It's a big thing for them, these little rubber pencil grips.
Yes,
and,
I like those myself.
And just little things that they can use at school, because we didn't want it to be, there have been places where they contributed all to a big grand prize of a bike or something. Well, we didn't want it to be that. We wanted it to be more about so that they would know what they're doing that was good, and then they could use it to get things that they could use. One other thing that we have there that we're really proud of implementing is students can use those tickets that they earn, that they could buy things for themselves, but there's also a place where they can buy cans of food with 2 tickets. And then after they've bought those cans, we bring them down to the food bank, the Abilene Food Pantry. And last year we had over 1,300 cans that students bought.
That's a great idea.
And, again, it's the feeling they get for doing that. And so that's something I'm really proud of that we've done.
Well, Tom, when we started, we said we could talk for an hour about McKinley, but the guy over there is going, We're time is up, so we're done. But I tell you what, I'll bet you Dr. Guy would bring you back sometime. We'll do the other half. Would that be fun?
That'd be great.
All right.
That'd be great.
Well, I sure appreciate, folks, the chance to present to you a USD 435 update, and really interested to hear the good things that are going on at McKinley. We would urge you to get involved with your school. There are so many ways to do that, and spread a little kindness every chance you get. For Eagle Communications, I'm Dennis Weiss. This is Tom Swartz, my partner today. Have a great day.
USD 435 update on Eagle Community Television is brought to you by Memorial Health System Rehabilitation and Sports Medicine. Memorial Health System Rehabilitation and Sports Medicine will get you back in the game. Century Business Systems. Century Business Systems provides local service, competitive pricing, and simplified solutions for all of Abilene's copier and printer needs. Rivendell Bookstore, Abilene's only new and used bookstore, supporting USD 435 and its surrounding community. Abilene Physical Therapy and Sports Rehab. At Abilene Physical Therapy and Sports Rehab, wellness is your goal and our mission. You are more than a patient, you're family. Reynolds Real Estate. Buying or selling a home? Call Reynolds Real Estate at 263-7151 to speak to our professional realtors today. And Eagle Communications, our community connected.